In Tullamarine and Thomastown, you're tuned to 98.9 Northwest FM.
That's right, 98.9 Northwest FM. You're on Car Talk with Matty J. So glad you can join me tonight. Tonight we're talking about future classics. What are your future classics? Send us a text on 0447 777 989. That's 0447 777 989. Let us know what your favourite future classics are. I'm joined in the studio by Alam and Julian. How you going, guys?
Good. It's nice to be back.
How you doing? It's nice to be on.
Oh, no worries.
I guess you've officially scraped the bottom of the barrel for guests, but hey.
Oh, well, you know, as I said, whoever asks and wants to come on, I'm more than happy to talk cars with them. But by all means, your first time. Is this your first time on the radio, or you've been on the radio once before?
Once or twice before.
Yep.
They didn't last long. Some will say one night. But yeah, no, it's not the first time. It's good to be on here.
That's good. And Alan, of course, his second time on this show, actually.
Yeah, and I'm ready to take the title for the quiz.
For the quiz.
The illustrious quiz.
The illustrious quiz, because you were beaten by your good mate Falk.
Yes, I was. He stole a point off me. I stole one off him, to be fair. But...
To be fair, yeah. Fair call. Going for the title tonight.
Yes, I am. Hopefully I get it.
Hopefully you get it.
If I don't, I'll be back. If I do, I'll still be back.
You'll be back regardless, because you're a good car guy, and I always like to have some good car guys on here.
Thank you.
Yeah, and to Julian, he's a car guy of small stature. He has a car.
I do. It has wheels, which is good.
Which is a good start.
And he has a license.
That's good as well, I suppose. Yeah.
No, well, look. From what I know from Julian, he's got a fair idea of the car scene and what's going on. So
boy, am I going to prove you wrong today.
we'll have to see about that. We're going to be obviously playing some music tonight, guys. So stay tuned for the next hour. Because we're going to be talking just future classics tonight. And after us we got Stratos coming on for Street Hustle. So but stay tuned for that. But anyway, we'll jump into it. So future classics. What defines a future classic for you, Alan?
Well, it's not a car that you necessarily know is going to become a future classic. It's, there's a lot of cars that just pop up and eventually there's a massive crowd following, the price jacks up, everyone loves them. But there are certain cars that, you see around today that they'll probably stick around.
Yep.
That you want one yourself as, today. And I think we can gauge from those kind of cars, like, that they will be around in the future. People will want them. They will, go up in the price and everything else.
And that's the good thing about a future classic, because when they're released, and they get a bit of hype, or they don't get any hype at all, but then they get really good reviews, and say, wow, this is actually a really good car. They sell they even if they selling small numbers or large numbers. But people will always remember, will remember a good classic car. Like a car they say, hey, I drove that car about 10 years ago, bought it new, wish I never sold it because it was such a great car. And then they look 10 years later down the track as well, and the car is back to pretty much what they bought it for. So, a future classic is always good to look out for what a future classic could be. And I'm always on the lookout for them, because I think there's some great ones on my list, and I'm not too sure about your lists, guys. But
I've got a few. But once again, we don't advocate going out and buying like 20 cars, because I don't think it's very feasible.
No, of course it is. Come on. Yeah. But having said that, future classics are a good investment if you know what you're looking for. And tonight we're going to say what we think is a good investment for the future.
But you can't sue us if we're wrong.
If we're wrong. Don't send a bill our way, because
it's just advice.
It's just advice. It's just what we personally think will be a future classic. And what constitutes to be a future classic, as we said, something that we remember and that we'll always enjoy. I'm going to say we're going to make it late 80s onwards. Because even like 80s, even like 90s onwards now, you get some early 90s cars that are considered classics already.
Yeah, that's correct.
But I'll say from like 85 onwards, that'll be our cutoff date for today.
Yeah, that's a good place
because otherwise we can get a bit further back and then we can get into some really cool cars. But some cars in the 80s are already deemed classics anyway.
Exactly.
So
that'd be cheating.
Yes, so that would be cheating, but
it's too late to buy them at a good price.
It is. It's unfortunately too late to buy them at a good price. But that's all part of the fun in talking about classic cars, because you can as we've done before, the 30K challenge. see what cars we could get for that money and what we think are going to go up in value one day. So 98.9 Northwest FM, you're back on CarTorque with Matty J and Alam and Julian in the studio. So classic cars, future classics, I should be saying. Future classics. So Julian, you haven't said about your car and your car history, so you've got a Mazda 6 at the moment?
I do have a Mazda 6, yes. I believe it's an 06.
Yeah, manual?
It is manual, yes, 16 manual.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say. It has 4 wheels, as I said before, it's good.
I've taken a ride in it. It's pretty comfortable and nice.
Yeah, very smooth.
You're very smooth.
Well, what can I say?
Well, I think it might depend on the driver as well.
Thank you. I am a good driver, thank you.
The clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you're obviously a fan of Mazdas in general.
I do like Mazdas, yes.
And you're you said about a classic car, a future classic that's in the Mazda family that you were going to say.
Yeah. Okay. So I did a whole lot of research today for the show, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just came across the Mazda 6 MPS Turbo.
Yeah.
It's a 2.3 litre turbo, all-wheel drive.
Yep.
See, this car can be mistaken as just a normal Mazda 6. However, there's a whole lot more under the bonnet than what meets the eye. True, Matty?
Definitely.
There we go.
That was going to be one of my choices, actually. I'm a big fan of the Mazda 6 MPS. I was actually looking at buying one before I bought the F6, but I couldn't find a nice, neat one that I would. But anyway, long story short, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. It just looks like your standard Mazda 6, unless people in the know say, hey, that's an MPS. That's cool. They're ridiculously fast. Mm-hmm. Handle incredibly. They've got like a Haldex all-wheel drive system happening. Really good. I'll quote Jeremy Clarkson when he says he's driven 100,000-pound cars that don't drive as good as that. So that says a lot of how well engineered that Mazda 6 MPS was. Great choice, Julian. I'm a big fan of that car.
Thank you.
Alan, all right. So we'll jump into your list.
Well, staying in the vein of Japanese cars.
Yep.
I'd say probably one of the first cars on the list is the Honda S2000.
Definitely.
I'm not particularly a massive Honda fan, but that is just an incredible car all around. It's, I believe, a 2-litre engine.
Yep, 2-litre.
Naturally aspirated, and it makes incredible power.
It does.
And it's faster than my WRX.
Yeah.
Yeah, telling the truth. I don't like to say it, but a Honda is faster than my WRX. And when you look at the car's body, there has been a facelift. I think it was around 2003, 2004.
It was a bit later. It came in the AP2.
Yeah. And even the earlier models, they don't look dated in today's world. When you see other new cars driving around, often you'll see cars that you just like, I liked these as a kid, but they look terrible now.
Yeah.
The S2000 definitely still looks like it belongs in this time.
It's aged well.
Yeah, it's aged very well, and I think it'll continue to age well for the next few years at least. And overall, because of its performance and just its following, it holds its price pretty well even now.
It does.
I think we were checking 2003-ish models, or early 2000 models, sorry, for approximately 20,000 around that mark.
Which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Considering that car now is a 16-year-old car.
Exactly. And
when they were new, that was 70-odd K. Yeah. That's pretty good value. Like they've held their value very well.
Yeah, and I'd imagine the value might, at least for the older models, drop a little bit, but it will come back up because people know they're incredible cars.
Yep.
And over the years, they've been nice Honda, Civic Type Rs and everything. The new Type R looks pretty good.
It does.
But it's a car that even if you buy it, 15 more years down the track, it's still a good car as long as it's in good condition.
Yep.
It's still a car you're like, I can see myself driving this on the weekend or something like that. And I believe that they will begin to appreciate in value over the next few years and then become a classic.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I reckon it'll become a classic for a couple of reasons as well. Here's a bit of trivia for you. Did you know the S2000, when it first came out, the engine, the F20C in it, held the record of the highest output per litre of any naturally aspirated engine? That's how good that engine was in that car.
It's an incredible engine.
It used to scream to 9,000 RPM, and they were quick. They were blisteringly quick.
Nailed it.
That's shocking. Real fast car. They handled them incredibly well. Apparently, there's only a few suspension setups that you can get for them that make them handle better than factory because they were that on point. That was back when Honda was like really on point, I should say. Like back when they were making cars, performance cars. And the S2000, to be honest with you, was one of my favorite cars. That was going to be on my list as well. Aged well, and it's if you compare that to an MX-5, it's not a hairdresser's car. It actually looks like a proper sports car. No offense to the MX-5 guys, I'm an MX-5 fan, so but. Just had to state the fact.
I agree.
Well, so keeping on the Honda theme, I'll add one in there. Late before the DC5, I took it on the top of my head. Integra Type R, the bug-eyed one, the two-eyed. I forgot it was a DC2 Type R. That's it. And that car was basically they call it the front-wheel drive handling benchmark. Great little car. That had actually a C-molded chassis compared to the standard Integra because it was actually made for homologation rules. So they had to homologate a certain amount of cars to put it racing. So they actually sold that many road-go versions. Really fast, still sought after very much today, especially in Japan and the States. Here they haven't appreciated just yet, but I reckon they're just about to explode. I reckon they're about to go nuts. So if you want to get one now. That 1.8 litre in that is just incredible little engine. Revs to the hills and they don't die. So definitely get on a DC2 Integra. What about your list?
Well, once again on the Japanese, I guess, train. I'd say really any model GTR.
Yep.
Considering nowadays, if you want an R34, you can pay up to 80 to 100 grand complied from Japan.
Yep.
But there's still more value to it, like, I guess, increase from them. And the other, like the R33s and R32s, on the other hand, they're not as high up, but they're still climbing. And particularly, I believe the Americans can now get their hands on the R32s.
That's right. It's hit the 25-year.
Yeah. So eventually they're going to be able to get their hands on the R33s and the R34s. And the prices are just going to skyrocket from that point because once their market opens up to it, they've got a lot more purchasing power, I guess. There's a lot more people there. And a lot more people want them because the earlier grey import crushing incidents that occurred. So there aren't very many there already. And I think once the floodgates open, you're going to be very hard pressed to find a clean GTR for a decent price.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but the 32 GDR, that's already forget about it now because America can get them. They're just flying up in value. Next will be the 33. So if you want 33s are at the lowest point at the moment. So if you want a 33 GDR, get on one now. They're personally my favorite GDR. Everyone didn't like them, but I'm a big fan of the 33. I reckon they're the best looking one.
I'd have to disagree. 34 is the best looking one.
We'll have to have a debate on that. But anyway,
it's got nothing to do with me watching Initial D.
Yeah, yeah. Well, initially they said, the 33 was crap, but it wasn't. Actually, the 33 GDR was the first GDR I went in and loved it. Got hooked ever since. But 33 GDRs are cheap at the moment, so you get on them because 32s are going to get pretty hard to get. 34s are sticking up in the high 70 odd thousand. You can get them for about 40, 50. Well, maybe that was a few years ago. A friend of mine bought one for that. But yeah, GDRs are going through the roof because of the States.
Yeah, and I'd still say now's a bit too late as well, but if you wait any longer, you're probably going to end up paying more, especially if you plan on having this car in your garage for some time. Now's probably a good time to grab it if you can get scrounge the funds together. I don't see many places approving a $100,000 loan to buy, a car from 1999 or, around there. So, if you've got some disposable income, why not?
Why not? Yeah, well, I reckon that's a great one because obviously everyone knows what the Skyline is and really what made them take off ballistically was the Fast and Furious series. So we've always known what they were kind of were, but the States really never really got a chance to enjoy them. So and now that they will be, it's going to be harder for a lot of people in Japan. Apparently, especially 32s are just going through the roof. So get one while you can. From me, first MR2 AW11. The really small boxy ones.
Oh yeah.
Well, big fan of those. I love those cars. They came with the 4AGE, same out of the AE86, and the twin cam Corollas.
Oh yeah.
Really good little car. Big fan of those. They actually jumped in value. I remember a few years ago you get it for like $500 to $1,000. Now you're looking at $10K. They're already up on the increase, and that's a car from like the late 80s. So if you want one, get one now because you are not going to be able to get one very shortly. And then even the SW20s, the ones that came after it, there's a few around. They're going to be, I reckon, the next thing to blow because they're going to be, they're harder to find. They had a bit of a reputation of being Bambi on ice because they were a bit snappy and because where the engine was placed in the back.
You get the what is it? Lift off oversteer.
Just a bit of lift off when you go around, or people were doing jumps like they were doing in Initial D.
Don't follow what you see in cartoons.
Yeah, no, you will break your car. But definitely, MR2s, AW11s and SW20s are about to blow big time. Get on them ASAP. Forget about A86s because they're already gone. The tofu tax on them are like 20k, so forget about it. But if you want something that's got the same engine, and I reckon personally drive better, AW11 or SW20. What else you got, Alam, in your list?
All right, we'll go to Australian cars because we are in Australia.
Yep.
And we make a few good cars.
We do. And
I would say straight six turbo Falcons.
Yep.
You know, anything really after the AUs. The AUs didn't come in turbo sixes, and the AUs are a bit ugly in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's important for a car to look nice for it to become a classic, even though there are a few ugly cars here and there in the classics. Yeah. I think it certainly helps the car if it looks nice. And the BAs and BFs, they're not incredibly well dated, but they still look okay.
Yep.
And I think they'll continue to look okay. And the FGs, they look pretty much,
they still look right.
They still look right, exactly. And just the engines that we made were incredible. You know, capable of crazy amounts of power with some
minimal
modifications.
mods.
Exactly. And just generally being bulletproof on regular cars as well. So I believe, and especially now that we're ceasing production and the, performance Falcon side is being replaced by the Mustang and some Focus RSs, if they don't ban it or ban it.
Yeah.
But since we are ceasing the production of those cars, they'll increase in value eventually, and especially limited editions when you get them, people will certainly want them afterwards. Especially when people have crashed their own, maybe just sold them, crushed them, whatever. Once they reduce in numbers and people are starting to look for them, they're going to rocket up in price. And now's the perfect time to get one. You can get brand new ones, and if you really want a car for the future that you can keep and make sure it runs right, it's best to get a brand new car. You know everything that's been done to the engine because you're the one doing it. Hopefully you're not driving it like a madman. I mean, if you are, as long as you're taking care of the engine, getting it serviced and everything else, if you can get a brand new car that is most likely going to become a classic, there's nothing really better. And for a good price, the Turbo Falcons are a great way to go, in my opinion.
Could not agree more. I was going to say that on my list as well. That's the reason why I bought one. Not because of not for an investment. I bought it because it's a great car. I bought my F6 because there's not many around. There's not many F6s around as well. It's being FPV as well. FPV doesn't exist anymore. I thought it's a great car. Power wise, it's fantastic. They handle well. And as I said, you don't see them. But that inline-six turbo is just an incredible motor. Even the non-turbo one in the standard Falcons, they do 1,000,000 Ks. But you're right though. Having said that, get one now because I was reading some interviews with John Bell, one of Australia's best racing car drivers, and he did a lot of work in developing the XR6 turbo and the F6 Typhoon, and any of the 6-cylinder turbo Fords, and he reckons that for the next classic, he's like, the B8 and stuff GTs, they're cool, but if you want a classic that people are going to want, get on the turbo Falcons, get on F6, get on XR6 turbo. They're cheap at the moment. I reckon they've hit their lowest point. You're not going to get them much cheaper. Maybe an XR6 turbo will go a little bit cheaper, but Typhoons have plateaued, and I've seen some going up in value. XR6 turbo Sprints, like you just said, how they're the last ones to be released. They're already commanding big value online. So people that have bought, they were 50 odd K, and now people are selling them not even a couple months old, 70 odd K.
So they've already appreciated.
Because they're the last of the breed, and they're the most finest of the breed. So if you want one, get one now because you are not going to be able to get one. Very shortly, they are a car to get. Get them. Big fan of the Ford Turbo, so get on one of those. That's a good pickup by you, Alan. I was impressed. For me, anything late model HSV or FPV. Because their Commodore and Falcon are saying bye now.
Exactly.
Oh, you're putting a Commodore out there.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. That's interesting because you're very clearly a Ford man.
Look, I'm a Ford man. Yeah, but I'm not. I don't hate Holdens. So
a good car is a good car.
A good car is a good car. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Holden. I wanted a Maloo, but again, 2-door car, just not practical. 2-seater. I'd love a Maloo.
I'd just like to say a Maloo as well, if you can get your hands on one.
Yeah.
Because it looks incredible. I don't have a job where I need to, I need a ute, but damn, I want one.
Yeah.
Like, I could see myself in a suit going to an office in a Maloo. It's just that kind of a car.
Yeah. It's a big middle finger to like all you other corporate guys, but you can just do it anyway because it's a Maloo. They just look ridiculous.
They do. They just even like just the standard. I think it was the R8s. They're incredible cars as well. Even those they're priced close to, I guess, those businessman cars.
Yep.
And boy, do they give them a run for their money.
Oh, they do.
And a lot of times they'll beat them.
Yep.
And if you're not about the badge, then certainly that's a great car to be using in an office kind of space. It's just making a lot of noise and a bit of disregard for the rules.
Oh yeah.
So
just flick the button on your bimodal exhaust and open up the exhaust, and then you'll hear, and then you wake up the neighbours. Believe me,
I can certainly get behind HSVs.
Yeah, big time. Like as I said, Maloos. I've put forward Maloos a few times in the show. Big fan of Maloos because they're just ridiculous, and they make big power, and one they look cool and they drive really well. If you've ever been in one, they drive like a club sport. They got really good suspension. You can take them to a track day. They're that sorted. HSV's always been on the top of their game when it comes to that sort of stuff. So definitely get on a Maloo. Even the late model GTS with the supercharged engine, the LSA engine. They started at 100k, but they won't lose much money because they're the finest of the breed. And rumours having it with a new like HSV coming out later, surely get on those as well. Another HSV for me would be any of the HSV Monaros, so the GTS or GTOs. They're already going up in value, so if you want to get one, get your hands on one now because they're going to be hard to get.
And Monaros in general, just because they don't make them anymore, and they were good cars.
They were.
They were there for the fun. They weren't there, pick up 3 kids and take them anywhere. They were there just to have fun. They were a car for drivers.
Yeah, you're right. They were a proper driver's car, and even the late models. If you get them, my pick of them, Monaro CVZ, one of the last ones with the bonnet scoop things. If you want to get one of those because last of the breed, the best one they made. If you can get one with the manual as well. I reckon that's pick of the bunch. Real good car.
Was there also an all-wheel drive Monaro?
There was. Good pickup. The Coupe 4.
Coupe 4, yeah. I remember it from the Shannon's ad.
The Shannon's ad, that's right. The Coupe 4 was only came in automatic, but they used the I'm pretty sure it was the Adventurer. The SUV, the thing they had. They used that drivetrain, so it had a really weird system, like because
I remember there being something, possibly an issue with because the front wheels were driven, and something about the exhaust maybe not fitting around it. Or
it was
the engine?
It was the sump, the oil sump.
Okay.
So they actually made the sump differently, so that then the front drive shaft would go through where the sump would be.
Okay.
So if you look at one, you'd be like, hang on a minute, what the hell? But it worked, and they handled really well.
Exactly.
I think Motor Magazine said it was HSV's Quattro, so Quattro beta pretty much. So, but Coupe 4s are worth big money. Like that's already a classic. That was a classic at the time it came out. But if you can get one cheap, get on it because anything HSV or FPV related, even anything obscure like Tickford TE and TS50s in the AUs. You know which ones I'm talking about? The T3s, the Series 3, the ones that looked really good. They had the 5.6 litre Windsor. It was a stroked 5 litre Windsor, and they made 250 kilowatts. Had a lot of torque. I reckon, to be honest, the best sounding Falcon ever. They sounded that good. Drank fuel like a fish, but that was the point of it. It was supposed to be an angry HSV beta. They're holding their value. So if you're going to get one, they're already going up in value. The lowest I seen them go for was about 20k. Now they're at 30 grand. So get one now if you want to get a T3 TS50 or a TE50.
Yeah, I'm just a little confused. I don't think I could put good-looking and AU Falcons in the same kind
They were a good-looking car. They were right at the end of the AU's life. Big fan of them. Also, I know it's not Aussie Fords, but TX3 Turbo all-wheel drives, they're going up in value. I've spoken about those on the show before. Get on those because they're already heading up to 10K. I've seen a really clean one for like almost 15 grand. Get on them. Trying to think, what you got any other Aussie cars that you might know about?
I don't think I have any other Australian cars. Yeah, unfortunately.
I've got one more. ED XR8 Sprint. They're already commanding big value. So they're already in the 15, 16 grand mark. They're next to blow because they're talking about late 80s muscle cars, the Ford ESPs, European sports packs. They're already through the roof. Doors, gates shut on those. Forget about it. You're looking at 30 to 40 grand for a clean one. Next to blow, EDXR8s. If you want to get a good Aussie car starter, car classic starter, and you'll be eligible for Club Rego soon. So that's the next one to get. Get on that. Take it from me, EDXR8 Sprint. Get on them. All right. Well, I think we'll go to a song. You were telling me a car during the break, Julian.
Yeah, I just the Triple S Pulsar.
Yeah, big fan of those.
Yeah, well, what can I say? It's a good choice, obviously.
Especially in the N15 and N14 trim when they came with the good old SR20. Really rapid for the day. It was the hot hatch when we didn't have a hot hatch in Australia. It was the unsung hero, real cool car. Good choice. I'm a big fan of that one. Thank you.
That one's popular among P-platers, is it not?
It still is a popular among P-platers because they're quick, they're fun to drive. You can get good power out of an SR. So
Kids,
yeah. So it's a good choice. I'm a big fan of the Triple S.
For my final car, collector car, I'm going to mention something that's technically a little cheating because when you consider its price and its range, it's already technically a collector's car, really.
Yeah.
But the Mercedes-Benz SLS.
Oh, yes.
That was the spiritual successor to the 300 SL. Mm-hmm. And that itself is a beautiful car, the 300 SL, but that's already classic, too expensive,
Millions of dollars.
So this one is somewhat cheaper. I think it was priced around 700 to 800,000 Australian dollars, I think, with our luxury car tax and everything else.
Yep.
And it looks stunning. The gull-wing doors are just incredible. And you just, to have... I believe, I think I heard it on Top Gear originally, but they have to put explosives in the doors in case the car does flip over.
Yep.
So the doors can blast open so you can get out. Otherwise, if the car slipped over, you can get out of the door.
Hey, is this a real thing?
Yes.
It's a safety feature for the SLS because, as you see with the gull-wing doors, if the car's on its roof, they're not going to open. So it's got sensors in there that lets the car know that it's upside down, and then the doors blast off, and you
technology
can get out with safety. It's an incredible car with safety, and it just once again I can't stop talking about how incredible it looks. It's so beautiful, especially just in the silver, and the engine itself. I think it was 420 kilowatts. We just checked up 6.2 litre V8, naturally aspirated, which is, you want a V8 to be naturally aspirated. You want that sound. You just need that incredible sound. And, unfortunately it's being replaced by the AMG GT, which is just a twin turbo V8, and it doesn't have the gull-wing doors anymore. I'd forgive it if it still had the doors, but they took away the doors. The doors, that's what made the car. That's what made it the successor to the 300 SL. It was those incredible gull-wing doors, and they just... I guess I'm not in charge, and, I don't think I'll ever be in charge of something like that. They made the decision, and, they'll still sell cars. But the SLS in particular, now that it's no longer being made, I believe, once again, when people see the value of those incredible cars, they'll go up. And they're already expensive, but they'll go up even higher. And possibly like the 300 SL is now... maybe 40 years down the track, we'll see the SLS priced at a similar point.
I definitely think so. That would be with that one. That's just the gull-wings as well. Just sell the car. And it came in a Spider as well. I believe it came in a convertible.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
But obviously no gull-wings. But definitely on the list. That's a cool car. Big fan of that one.
And on that same vein, slightly more affordable, is just the pre-turbo C63s.
Yes.
Which are also the V8 with incredible sound.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more attainable, especially second-hand. And since they've been replaced by twin turbo V8s as well, the sounds are no longer there. The car's different. So I believe the naturally aspirated ones certainly will become classics and collector cars. So now is, I'd say, a great time to get them while they're still depreciating, while people still don't, I guess, know their full value. And once I guess people recognise that prices start going up, we'll see them at higher ranges that they've never been before.
Yeah, I agree. I reckon that the previous model C63, just the engine sold the car to a lot of people. It's just a brilliant motor. All hand built, of course, being AMG. That engine, renowned for its it's just torque, and it's just all motor ability. And the fluidity of it is just so smooth. Yeah. You've been in one?
Yes, I've driven one illegally. I didn't say that. I've driven one when I shouldn't have driven one with 5 very large men in the car in total, and the car did not care. It just flew.
Yep.
I think we may hypothetically have been at 180 kilometers an hour, but that's hearsay.
Hypothetically.
That's hearsay, and nothing to confirm it. And we were all P-platers, or we weren't. But that was just, the car did not miss a beat. It did not care. It was going, just flying. And I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't afford one yet. But you never know in the future.
Yep. No, I reckon it's a great choice. Yeah, big fan of that CC3. If I could have the money and if I could afford one, I'd buy one. Hand on heart, I'd buy one. I'd buy one of those, and I'd probably buy, because it wasn't really loved, a Lexus ISF. I was always a fan of those 5-litre V8. They sounded good as well. It's hard. I'd take the CC3 over the ISF but definitely the ISF because they're so rare.
They definitely are rare.
I'd put that in there because there's a lot of CC3s around. On the topic of Euros, moving over to their arch nemesis, BMW, E36 M3. If you're going to get an M3, it's probably the E30 M3 is a ridiculous amount of money. E46s have kind of plateaued, but at E36 you can get real cheap, and I reckon the E36s sound better than the E46, and they drove really well as well. One of those, get your hands on while you can, and the Z4M. Big fan of the Z4M. Well,
yeah, I can't say they were beautiful cars.
They're not the nicest car.
They're not the nicest looking car, but they are they're two-door kind
twin
of
turbo 6.
Yeah, and very nice cars for drivers.
Yep.
It's all around, and I believe eventually, once again, when people really see their value and there's less of them available, the value will climb.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. A few more cars I was going to quickly add because we got to get to our quiz, which Alam's in the hot seat for.
Ooh, the illustrious quiz.
The illustrious quiz.
I'm planning on winning.
Mark IV Supras with the 2JZ turbo.
Yes, I can agree with that.
Yeah, everyone knows a Supra. Even Julian knows what a Supra is.
Certainly do.
The 2JZ in general is just a fantastic engine. It's so strong. People make a ridiculous amount of horsepower. People swear by those motors. And they drive well. Like even in stock trim, they handle well. They stop well. They drive well. They're a great car. In the States, they're worth a lot of money because they were American delivered there. We never actually had Mark IVs delivered here. They're all imports, but you can get them cheap. You can pick some up for about $20K, like for a kind of nicey one. The nicest one you're gonna buy in Australia would be $35,000. They're about to jump in value, so get one now. That's my big one. Get on a 2JZ Supra ASAP, and yeah,
I'd say try and get one unmodified.
Yes, definitely.
A lot of people, they do right by their cars, or they try to do right by their cars, but they end up doing stupid modifications, just things at home, dodgy things, and it just devalues the car. And that's one of the reasons why the prices will surge as well, because people are going to end up breaking their cars.
Yep.
They end up crashing their cars. And once there's less of them on the road, there are less of them available just in total. There's just, the price goes up automatically.
I completely agree. I also reckon that, well, from Japan, a lot of them come with like big exhausts and stuff anyway, like, when they're imported here. I don't mind an exhaust, a couple little things here and there, but anything ridiculous, like when they've upped the boost, and if you want an investment that's gonna keep your money, you want the cleanest, most original one you're gonna find.
Exactly. And if you've got one with like a pink interior or something, just walk away.
From the early 2000s, the Sex Spec era,
very nice.
and the and the Ricer era. My last car for the night, though. You a fan of rotaries?
You know, in the right spec.
In the right spec? All right. I'm gonna come out and say it. FD RX-7 twin turbo. They're a great looking car. One of the best handling cars to come out of Japan. Just beautiful car in general. I'm a big fan. Like, okay, they're high maintenance. They're being a rotary, but if you know how to look after them, they'll look after you. And you're supposed to thrash them. They're made to be redlined. You know, they're made to be taken all the way up to screaming past 9,000 RPM. When you part them around town, they don't like it, being a rotary and being like this sort of kind of like a two-stroke, the way they work. But definitely an RX-7. Couple of roughies out there just to chuck. Obviously, Triple S Pulsar, as Julian said. Proton Satchel GDI. I reckon that'll be kind of. It's got a niche market. Keep an eye on that. Suzuki Swift GTIs are really going up in value. Keep an eye on those. And obviously, anything. I was going to say anything MX-5, anything early MX-5 because they've hit officially Club Retro spec. And keep an eye out for them because I reckon they're going to boom. There's a bazillion of them around, but there's a demand for them. Yeah. So keep an eye out for those. We got a text on the text line before we get to our quiz. It's from Callum. He says, "Great show. Looking forward to Bluetooth improvements, hopefully in cars." Yes, because most Bluetooths are shocking.
My one doesn't even work.
He's like, "I'd like to hear from Alan about shotgun rules in cars." So when you claim shotgun,
oh, this is gold. Yes, very good.
We'll discuss it in a second. Just one thing I wanted to mention: the RX-7. Now we discussed this, I think, on the last program I was on.
Yep.
And we discussed the Veilside kit.
Ah, yes.
And it's one of those, should you or should you not? Because if you want the best value out of your car, you should technically leave it unmodified. But I personally believe if it's fitted correctly and painted correctly, that kit can add value to the car.
It's fantastic, that kit, isn't it? It's the best wide body kit ever.
Terribly unpractical.
Yeah.
But you won't go over any speed humps. If somebody throws a tennis ball on the road in front of you, you have to go around that. But it makes the car look amazing.
Oh, it looks epic with that.
And with the shotgun rules, Callum.
We should put it out there. This has been a extensively argued topic.
When you get multiple friends trying to catch a ride together, somebody's going to yell at shotguns. You know, no one wants to be in the back when there's three people, particularly when we got my car. Thankfully, I've never had to be in the back of that. But we believe that the moment you make a move to leave, the first person to see the car that yells out shotgun has the right to shotgun. Now, Callum would disagree because he believes that everyone has to be outside already. And was there any other?
Wait, you have to see the car.
Yeah.
Did you mention that?
I agreed with you. have to see the car.
You need to see the car.
You have to see the car. You definitely have to see the car.
Yeah, that's a very important. Otherwise, you can do what Christian does and then just call it whenever you want. Or lie. Like you did a couple of days ago.
I didn't lie.
That's a lie?
No, it could have been a lie or it could have been the truth.
Oh, it was a lie.
But we believe you have to see the car, and as long as you're making a move to leave, that counts.
That counts. So for those of you at home wondering how the shotgun rules work,
this is our personal rules, but we believe they're the most diplomatic rules.
Look, if you want, I have a whole blog about this. We probably won't post a link about it, but yeah, they're the rules.
And believe me, Julian knows his shotgun rules as well.
That's true, I do. Yeah.
Look, we're going to go to our last break of the night, then we're going to come back with the quiz. So we'll see you quickly back on the other side of this. 9 Northwest FM. We're back with CarTorque with Matty J. One more thing from Anthony on our Facebook page. He said to us, he's like, define classification of a classic post 20 years. Yes, we kind of agreed to that in the 80s. He's like C34 Stagia with the all, the Skyline running gear. Obviously, I reckon that's a cool car.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool car.
All right, it's time for the car quiz with Matty J. So Julian, drum roll, please.
I don't know how well that went into the microphone.
My fingers are probably going to fall off because I hit it so hard.
The music's happening. We're about to start. All right, so let me get my counter out.
Let me get Google up quickly.
I'll get my good luck chance out.
Question 1. What is unique about the Hyundai Veloster?
I believe it doesn't have a passenger door on one side.
Correct. Yep. The Subaru 22B came with what size engine displacement?
Oh, God. Can I say 2.2 litre?
2.2 litre, correct. E85 fuel has a 85% mix of what?
Ethanol.
Correct.
Ooh, it's going to happen.
Jeez, you're
Three from
3 from 3. Question 4. Late model 4AG engines came with what difference with the head?
I believe it was a twin cam head.
It was a twin cam head, but it was they were all twin cam, but it was something different. I'll give you one more chance. No idea.
I'm going to say they were quad valve.
No, they had 5 valves per cylinder. So
half a point.
That's unexpected.
no.
Oh, I've seen these been handed out before.
No, he just put it out there. All right. FPV finished in what year?
2014.
Correct. Joel, you got lucky with that one. True or false? The first car FPV released was the F6 Typhoon.
First car release. I'm going to say yes, true.
False.
Missing.
It was the GT and the Pursuit. Question 7. The last Mitsubishi Evo released not long ago was called the what?
Evo 10.
Like the Evo was the Evo 10, but it had an addition.
I don't think I have anything. You gotta give me a clue.
Well, being in the last edition, it's got something to do with being last.
On a final edition.
Oh my god, you just said it. Final edition, that's what it was called.
Well, I tried.
No, well, you got it. I have to give it to you. Question 8. What was considered the first hot hatch?
The first hot hatch. I feel... for some reason I keep getting Ford Focus RS in my head, but I feel like that's not correct. There would have been definitely something before that. Yeah, I got nothing for that.
VW Golf Mark 1 GTI. Question 9. The 4-door versions of the R33 GTR were called the what? They were made by a company, but they were still classified as a GTR. Just putting it out to Alam, you need to get them all right to equal the score.
You want some thinking music?
All right, I'll give you a clue. They did some S15s as well.
Was it Acutech or Otech?
Ortec, that's correct. So, final question. You have to get this one right. The Proton Satria GTI was based on what car?
You gave me the hardest question at the end.
No.
Alan is sweating bullets right now.
He is. All right, I'll give you a clue. It was based on a car. Okay. It was based on a car. I can't give too much right. Okay. It's based on a car that's been out before it, but they shared the platform. It's a Japanese car brand. They shared it with. Think of what it looks like.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what it looks like.
Oh, sorry.
Maddie, just tell me.
No,
Keep the secret.
I think I'm going to have to concede this one.
You can see this one? Oh, the Mitsubishi Mirage and Lancer.
I was going to say that. I really was.
And I was watching Mighty Car.
Oh, I know. they mentioned it on there.
They did, exactly.
They mentioned it.
Sexy build.
So what did you get last time?
I think it was Sam last time.
6?
1, 2, 3. Wait, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 again. It's not bad.
I'll be back next time.
You'll be back next time, Anthony Falk. Anthony Falk, the warning has been put.
I will be back and I will take that title.
I'm just glad it wasn't me.
I'm just going to read up on all the car trivia in the world.
That's it.
Just give me a couple of days.
Give you a couple of days, and you know what? I'll be happy to have you in again because you're a great car guy. And as are you, Julian?
I am. I'm definitely a great car guy.
You guys have there were some hard questions on there, but to be fair, the last one was a bit iffy. But you got some of the harder ones as well, like with the ethanol rating and all that. So that was really impressive. We're going to go to our last song of the night because we're done for tonight. Stay tuned though. Stratus is coming in with Street Hustle. Until next time, take it easy. Thanks guys for coming in.
Thanks
for having us.
You.
Have to get you guys in again, but until then, take it easy.